knockout punch. Sounds good to me. I'm your host, Dr. Peter Glidden. Give me a call. Lines open, 866-582-9933. That's 866-582-9933. We're going right to Michigan now to talk to Pam, who has an update and a progress report. Thanks for calling, Pam. You are live.
Greetings, Dr. Glidden. Thank you for taking my call. I'm calling with an update and a new problem. On February 15th, I called you, and it changed my life. I've been on Prilosec and thyroid medication for 15 years, so I've been battling the candida, leaky gut, and depression. And today, with following your recommendations using longevity products, my mood and my energy have improved 200%. I've less in my muscles and bones, and I lost 48 pounds.
Now, all right, hold on right there, girl. Now, listen, let's just be honest for the listening audience. Did I prompt you about what to say on this radio show? Have we spoken at all, ever, off air, or has anybody from Genesis Communications Network or Longevity given you any money to give this type of testimonial? Let's be honest.
No, I'd like the money, though. But nope.
Well, become a business builder and it'll come. But this is how it is, folks. We don't screen calls. I have no idea what my callers are going to say. Zero idea. Well, I have a sense of what people are going to say who've been taking the products because they always work. But this is just really, really great news, Pam. I'm so very happy for you. How long were you struggling with health issues before you found longevity? How many years?
Oh, well, I've been on medications for over 20 years. And my husband was on it for a year on longevity, and he says, you got to start taking this. I'm like, hey.
Usually it's the other way around. I got to tell you, usually it's the wives that start first, and then they bring their husbands along. So good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him for taking a walk into the field of light here. All right, so that's really, really good. So you're making progress, right? Now, are you stuck somewhere, or what's up?
Okay, well, my new problem is I've been following the Candida diet and detoxing, and I have a rash on my forearms, armpits, and my rear fold. And yesterday I went to the doctor, and she told me my painful bump under my armpit is a boil. So I have an appointment with a dermatologist, and I just want to know my options, and is this rash contagious?
Well, of course, I can't diagnose a rash over the phone, right? But you went to the dermatologist, and what did they tell you what the heck it was?
I do have an appointment with the dermo, but my doctor said that I have a boil under my armpit.
And that's all that they told you? They didn't tell you anything about the other skin stuff anywhere else on your body, right?
Well, because I'm trying to cleanse the yeast I have, she didn't want to give me any steroids or antibiotics?
Well, but she should have diagnosed the other stuff. I mean, she shouldn't have just sent you to a dermatologist, for goodness sake. She should be able to know just by looking at it what the heck it is. I mean, that's a waste of money if she couldn't just diagnose a simple skin thing. I mean, that's just a little crazy, right? So, all right. So, is the skin thing that you've got now anything that you've ever had in the past, or is it a brand new thing, you've never had it before?
It's all new since I've been getting rid of all the toxins out of my body.
Well, all right. So in addition to longevity, are you doing any other program, like any other detox stuff? I mean, tell me exactly what you're doing.
I'm on a Candida cleanse. I did a liver cleanse.
Well, where did you get the Candida cleanse and the liver cleanse? So where did you dial that in from?
Well, the Candida cleanse is a Now product, and the Hepal, I think it's called. I use that liver cleanse.
Yeah, okay. And how long, when the rash popped up, how long had you been doing the cleanses for?
For a month.
All right. So stop the cleanses, stop both of them, and I want you to go to the hardware store, and I want you to get a black light. Get a black light bulb. You know those black lights we used to have in college dorms? Remember those?
You told me to do that, yeah, and I did that, and I didn't see any blue or any colors. It's just kind of it's shiny, though.
Under the black light, it would have looked white like snow. It didn't look like that, right?
No.
All right, so it's not a fungal infection. So that means one of two things. It means that you're having an allergic reaction to something that you're taking vis-a-vis the cleanse, or that your body isn't able to handle the intensity of the herbs at this point in time. And it could also mean that you're deficient in EFAs, or that you've fallen off of the diet. So are you still avoiding wheat, barley, rye, and oats?
Not even in the house. Everything's
Okay.
out.
All right, great. And how many EFAs a day are you taking? EFAs?
8.
Okay, and what's your current body weight?
158.
All right. For 7 days, take 9 EFAs a day. Take 9 EFAs a day. I want you to stop the cleanses and look to see what happens to the skin rash. You know, there's a saying in holistic medicine that you don't want to scrub the pot so hard that you break it. And there's a fine line between detoxifying the body appropriately and detoxifying the body too aggressively. And you can do that. It's easy to do that. It's very easy to do that, quite frankly. And, you know, like the fella said, where there's smoke, there's fire. And also one of my favorite sayings in medicine, diagnostics anyway, when you hear hoofbeats, you think about horses before you think about water buffaloes, right? So we want to think about the most common things that cause things before we start thinking about weird, esoteric, arcane things. So if you were doing a liver cleanse and something new, so when you develop a new symptom, what I'm trying to say, when you develop a new symptom, the first place to look at is anything new that you've done, either with your diet or your supplement program. So, you know, and the presence of a skin rash is a symptom. And a symptom is an indication that your body is stressed. It's not a positive thing. It's not a function of a cleanse. If you're cleansing appropriately, there should be hardly any negative effects. You might get sleepy, you might sleep more, you might sweat more, but you're not going to engender any pain and suffering from a cleanse. You might be surprised at what starts to come out of your body, and if you dump a lot of stuff out of your body really quickly, like especially if you're doing a colon cleanse, it can make you, you know, lightheaded momentarily. But stuff like this is an indication that the game is afoot symptomatically, and there's something that you need to dial back. Do not go to the dermatologist. It is a fool's errand. Cancel the appointment with the dermatologist. That's what I would do. I would simply stop the liver cleanse and the candida cleanse. Whatever it is that you were doing before this started, just stop it and go back to the original longevity program with the Healthy Start Pack and the selenium and whatever else you were taking, plus the diet. That's how I would handle it for 90 days. And there's an interesting thing you can do to the boil that's under your arm. A boil that's under your arm is kind of like a pimple that hasn't come to a head. You can do alternating applications of hot and cold to that. So here's what you do. You get 2 mixing bowls from the kitchen. And in one of the mixing bowls, you put hot tap water. And in the other mixing bowl, you put cold water with ice cubes.
Okay.
You put a small face cloth in each bowl, and then you sit down and watch TV. And you put first you start with the hot application, and you take the hot towel out of the hot water, wring it out, and put it right on top of the boil underneath your armpit. Let it sit there for about a minute. And then you take the cold towel, wring it out, and place it directly on top of the hot towel, and then flip them upside down so it goes from hot to cold really fast.
Okay.
Now the cold towel is against the boil and the hot towel's on top. You peel the hot towel off, put it back in the hot water, and you alternate hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold for, 15, 20, 30 minutes. Now, if you're doing it for 15, 20, 30 minutes, you're going to have to refresh the bowl of hot water because it will get lukewarm pretty quick. You don't want to use boiling water. Just use hot tap water. You might have to refresh it once or twice, over the course of 20 or 30 minutes. And the key to this whole thing is starting with the hot application and ending with the cold. The very last application you put on is the cold application. And the other thing is you want it to go from hot to cold very quickly. That's why we put the towels on top of each other and then flip them upside down so the temperature change is dramatic. And this is old-fashioned naturopathic hydrotherapy, and it basically pumps blood and lymph fluid in and out of the area that's problematic. And if you do the alternating hot and cold application to the boil, if you do that for 20 minutes, a couple times a day for 2 or 3 days, I'm going to bet you 25 cents the boil will come to a head, and then you'll be able to just get the stuff out of there like you would with anything else. That's how I would do it. I mean, I wouldn't go to the dermatologist. I would do this strategy first for 7 days. This is a non-life-threatening condition. Do not go to the dermatologist, for goodness sake. This does not warrant that type of an intervention. Now, of course, if after you stop everything and the rash gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and you start to turn into Dragon Lady, develop scales, and then wings pop out of your back, then maybe it's not a bad idea to go see a medical professional. But right now, I think it's a fool's errand. Just lean on good old-fashioned, quite frankly, it's good new-fashioned naturopathic medical nutrition. See what happens. That's how I would handle it for the next, 14 days. Does that sound like a deal?
Well, someone told me it's staph infection. Is that true?
I don't really care what it is. Another thing that you can do, you don't need to worry about it. Another thing that you can, if it starts to get worse and, spreads and gets bigger and bigger and bigger, well, then, yeah, we have to move. But I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, the body will take care of it all by itself. Another thing that you can do is get some colloidal silver from Youngevity. Get a little spray bottle from CVS, dump the colloidal silver liquid into the spray bottle, and spray the boil topically with the colloidal silver 10 times a day. And when you go to bed at night, soak a gauze pad in colloidal silver and tape it right over the boil so that it's exposed to colloidal silver, while you're sleeping. That's what I would do, Pam, for 7 days in a row before you go to the dermatologist. Give it a try. Call me back with a report. And thanks for your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bang on it all day. I bang on it for 2 hours here, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 Central Time. Your host, Dr. Peter Glidden, going to Chicago now to talk to Emil and the detectives about travel health. Hello, Emil. Thanks for calling. You are live.
Hi, Peter. I'm Dr. Peter. I thank you for taking my call. And I've been using the products just for a little while. And when I signed up, though, I signed up directly with the company. So, I don't really have anyone really to talk to other than maybe listening to your radio program about anything.
Well, everybody who's in the company has an upline. Wherever you are in the company, you're in somebody's organization. So what you want to do is you want to call the company up and give them your name and your phone number, and they'll be able to tell you who is above you in the network. And what you want to do is you want to ask them, hey, who in my network above me, and the terminology for that is upline, who in my upline is working the business effectively? Who in my upline is working the business effectively? And you want to call them. They'll give you their number and their name. Call them, introduce yourself, and then those people can give you advice about what to do. Now, there's only a handful of people in Youngevity that know about the health stuff, and I'm one of them. And you can have access to my information about health, even if you're not in my Youngevity group, either by calling the radio show like you did today or by becoming a subscriber to my online health recovery stuff. It's $17 a month, and it's right there at fireyourmdnow.com. Just click on the health recovery online subscription service. First, you can read about what it is. It's $17 a month, and it gives you access to live webinars, to recorded archived webinars, all about the health stuff. So this is how we do it. Just get in touch with Youngevity. They will hook you up with somebody in your organization if you want to pursue the business opportunity. Now, Emil, are you traveling somewhere shortly?
Yes, I am. I'm going to be going to out of town to a seminar, and I'm going to be in a hotel. And what I'm making an effort to do is like eat as little as the hotel food as possible. And I didn't know if longevity had anything to help out with that.
Well, there's a couple things to know about traveling, right? The biggest vector for getting sick is someone sneezes or coughs into their hand, and then they'll touch the escalator rail, or they'll touch the doorknob, or they'll touch the armrest on the plane or whatever, and now there are germs on whatever they touched, and you come along, don't know any better, you open the door, put your hand on the escalator rail, put your hand on the armrest of the seat, and then, you know, you pick something out of your teeth, or you give your eye a little scratch or whatever, and now the virus is inside your body. So one of the easiest ways to prevent infections from happening while you're traveling, to like increase your body's immune system, is with something that Longevity has. It's called Pure Works Foam. Pure Works Antimicrobial Foaming Cleanser. It's an oil-based foam that you squirt into your hands and rub it into your hands. It's an antibacterial foam, and once you put it on, it lasts for about 5 hours. It protects you. So if you've got this Pure Works stuff on your hands, and your hands feel great, they get really soft. It's because it's oil-based. It's great. And so if you touch the escalator or the doorknob or wherever it is where the germ dies. Because the stuff in the Pure Works kills bugs and kills viruses, kills bacteria. It's awesome stuff. Whenever I travel, I load up with the Pure Works, and one application on your hands lasts for 5 hours. So, you know, most of us are up for, 12, 13, 14 hours a day. So if you just put it on 3 times a day, then life is good. Another thing that you can do to help your immune system is an essential oil that Longevity has through the Ancient Legacy branch of Longevity, and it's called First Defense. First Defense. It's an essential oil. And if you put a couple of drops of First Defense on your upper lip, and inhale it, breathe it into your nose while you're on the plane or while you're actively traveling. Just put a couple of drops of First Defense every hour or so right on your upper lip under your nose, and breathe that essential oil in. That also goes a long way towards stimulating your immune system and knocking down bugs. And if you're worried about eating while you're traveling, it's easy. Have the hamburger, not the bun. Have the baked chicken, not the fried chicken. Have the red wine instead of the beer. It's really pretty easy to be gluten-free when you're traveling. You just have to learn how to say no. Over to sunny California now to talk to Shirley. Hey, Shirley, thanks for the call. You are live.
Let's see. Hello, hello?
Hello, hello, Shirley. Thanks for calling. How can I help?
Oh, sorry. My daughter called. Yeah, where did I leave it? Yeah, I had some questions on, I'm dealing with depression for several years, and it's just getting way out of hand. And I just started about less than a month ago on all the big pack stuff for arthritis and so forth. I've got bone-to-bone hip, but for the... Where did I put the papers? Oh, good, I just moved it off.
So was the depression postpartum? Did it happen after childbirth?
No, I'm 65, so
yeah.
It's been several years here. And
do you relate it to anything specific?
No, just failed marriages and a life that's a disaster at this point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so, yeah, I get it. But, you know, oftentimes, and let me speak to that while you're rummaging around for whatever you need to read here, right? Oftentimes, there's a misconception that depression is 100% psychological, and it's not. Oftentimes, depression is 100% physiological, and it has absolutely nothing to do with your status of life stress. You know, I mean, I know people that are extremely wealthy that, you know, don't have a care in the world, and they're depressed, and they're not motivated, and they feel even worse because they know they don't have a care in the world, and they know they shouldn't be depressed. So I'm not automatically going to go down the road that, oh, you know, it's because my husband was a knucklehead and we had a horrible divorce, or I got fired from my job, or watched my son was killed in Iraq, or whatever. You know, all these things are bad, and I'm not discounting them. And from my point of view, the vast majority of the time, depression, which lingers, you know, for more than 3 months, depression which lingers for more than 3 months, and which gets worse, is physiological, and it's not psychological. So, all right, so now I've said my piece. So give me a little bit more information, Shirley, about what's going on.
I started the Smart FX just this last week, so I don't think it's had time to take much effect. So I'm taking that plus the selenium plus the OsteoFX and what is
the
it?
Glucogel and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the EFA, right?
Glucogel, yeah, right. So I just started and just got a hold of Dr. Wallach today, and he said to add a third Smart FX, take two at noontime, you know, so 222, I guess. And then he talked about lithium and said lithium is a really good thing. Is that something you can get? Or the St. John's wort I've heard about over the years, but haven't really tried it. And then something called SAMI that's really S-adenosylmethionine. You can get it over the counter. It doesn't require a prescription, but well,
yeah, I'm familiar with St. John's wort. I'm familiar with SAMI. I'm familiar with lithium. Lithium orotate is the stuff that would be indicated. If you can find it over the counter at a health food store, Longevity doesn't carry this. There are trace amounts of lithium in the plant-derived minerals. However, I have a couple of questions that I'd like to ask you before we go down that road, okay? All right, so question number one, do you get sleepy during the daytime after you eat a meal? Do you get sleepy after you eat a meal, Shirley?
Not usually, but lately I've been so lethargic. Well, I'm having trouble walking, so I'm exhausted from walking. So I've actually taken naps in recent weeks. Since I started all the nutrients, I haven't been quite as tired. So.
Okay, and what about in the middle of the night? Is it easy to fall asleep, or is it hard to fall asleep?
No, it's usually easy to fall asleep around 10 or 11, but I do wake up in the middle of the night. But right now I'm staying in bed because I don't want to get out of bed in the morning. It's awful.
All right, so you wake up in the middle of the night. Are you wide awake?
No, I'm usually able to go back to sleep normally.
And what is it that wakes you up, and how long does it take to go back to sleep?
I think just because I need to get up and pee, and then I think I'm back asleep within 5 minutes, maybe within 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
So,
and all right, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not having trouble sleeping most of the time. I do sweat a lot at night. That stops for a while, and it comes and goes, but I don't know what that's from. My hair will be dripping wet even. So.
Yeah, and is it kind of the nape of your neck and the back of your head?
Yeah, the back of my head will be wet.
Yeah, okay. All right, what about Charlie horses or muscle cramps at night in bed? You getting any of those?
No, I had some years ago. One of the calf leg has all, whatever the veins are all messed up, you know. They've all popped on one leg, but no, regular. Oh, you know, I did for a while. I was getting a cramping. That's gone away since I've started the
see that?
vitamins. Yeah.
All right, I got some even more peculiar questions. Now we're getting into a homeopathy zone here, okay? So these questions are going to be peculiar, but I don't care. Is there anything in the animal kingdom that gives you the creeps?
Animal kingdom? Only spiders. I love to watch them spin webs, but spiders and scorpions I don't want to have on my hands.
How about mice?
Oh, no. I'm a wildlife biologist. I love all those little critters.
Well, there you go. And you're okay with snakes, too, right?
Oh, I love snakes. Yeah, we grew up with those in Miami, so just don't hold the poisonous one, but I love snakes, definitely.
Okay. All right, very good. And if you were to eat an egg, what would be your preferred form of eating the egg? How do you like to eat eggs?
Sunny side up. I don't like them when they're hard-boiled unless you can mix mayonnaise into egg salad. And he said to take, Dr. Wallach said, take 2 eggs at bedtime with butter, lightly scrambled.
Yeah, he's telling you to do that for the hot flushes.
Do that at bedtime. That's just too late to eat.
Yeah, I get it. Now, are you experiencing any positive benefit with the joint issue while you've been on this program?
Not yet, but I'm going to give it 90 days. They would have done hip surgery 10 years ago, and I refused that. And I don't normally go to the doctor, but I'm just having so much trouble walking.
All right. So how many glucogel are you taking a day?
Glucogel, 5, and 5.
You're 150 pounds?
130 or 35.
Okay, great. And compared to your girlfriends, how is the physical temperature of your body? Are you the same as everybody else? Are you the hottest person in the room, or are you always a little chillier than everybody else?
I'm cold here in California, so I don't...
Well, I mean, are other people cold there too, or is it just you?
I'm colder. People say it's warm, but I'm cold down at the beach. I try and bike on my little fold-up bike every day, but that's getting hard to do. Yeah. I try to swim every day. The water's just getting too cold, and it's up to 84 at the clubhouse. So
all right.
I'm cold.
What I would do to look to see if it helps with the depression first, before I did anything else, I wouldn't worry about the SAMe. I wouldn't worry about the St. John's wort. I wouldn't worry about lithium. What I would do is I would get a bottle of Sweeties from Youngevity, Sweeties. And I would take 12 a day for 7 days. Take forward breakfast, forward lunch, forward dinner for 7 days. All right? Now, also in that 7-day timetable, as an experiment, it's only an experiment and it's only 7 days, I don't want you to have anything that tastes sweet. So no fruit juice. No a dried fruit. No honey, no molasses, no agave, no margaritas in the sweet margarita mix, right? Don't have anything that's sweet, extra sweet, for 7 days in a row, and take 12 Sweeties a day for 7 days in a row. And look to see if that has any effect on your mood whatsoever, and then call me back after you've done that experiment and report.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
I remember the tingly toes. I've heard him ask questions about that. I have tingly toes since like 05 or 06.
Yeah, I think you have a blood sugar issue. I think you have a mild blood sugar issue. And, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, I used to be hypoglycemic. So.
Well, there you go. That makes me the smartest man in class. So I wouldn't bother with more Smart FX. I wouldn't bother with the eggs before bed. Make sure you want to eat a bunch of eggs during the day because, you need the cholesterol, because the cholesterol is what all your hormones are made from, and that's a beautiful thing. And what I would do as an experiment, like a little in-house aggressive experiment, is do 12 Sweeties a day, 4, 4, and 4, and eliminate all fruit juice, anything that's sweet for those 7 days. I mean, everything. I don't even want you to drink wine because it's got sugar in it, right? So no alcohol, nothing sweet for 7 days in a row. Now, the exception here would be non-glycemic sweeteners, things like xylitol or sucralose or stevia. You can have as much of that stuff as you want, but nothing that's got real sugar in it, just for 7 days, plus the Sweeties, and then call me back with a report and give me a heads up. I think you're going to love how this makes you feel, and I think the depressive stress should lift noticeably within the 7-day time frame.
Wow, that would be fantastic. So.
I know it's a horrible thing to be underneath the heel of depression because, for goodness sake, you get no sympathy from anybody because it's a big deal. I mean, it's a big, bad voodoo daddy. It's like being in a full-body cast, but, nobody can see it because it completely affects every single solitary aspect of your life. It's a horrible burden to bear on a day-to-day basis. And I'm going to bet, Shirley, that your depressive stuff is a function of physiology, not psychology. I'm not discounting the stress that you've had in your life, not by any way, shape, or form. And, you know, if you wear a parka, you know, you can go outside in cold weather, no problem. But if you go outside in cold weather in your bathing suit, well, that's a problem. Life is a great big bowl of stress, no matter how you shake it. However, if your body is nutrified and strong, it can handle a great amount of stress and not get depressed. There is a breaking point for everybody. But I'm going to guess that it's a physiological thing. The Sweeties experiment and the just 100% avoidance of any extracurricular sugar for 7 days, that's a really great place to go. So try that on for size, Shirley, for 7 days. The product that you want from Longevity is called Sweet Ease, SWEET-EZE. Check it out. Take 12 of those a day and call me back on day 8, 9, or 10 after you've done that with a report. I mean, good or bad, call me back, and if nothing happens at all, I have another idea. But this is the first place I want to go. Thanks so much for the call, Shirley. We're coming up against the hard break. On the other side of the break, we're going to go to Nevada and talk to Ken, who has a question about cellulitis and recurring infections. Thanks for logging in or tuning in, everybody. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. It's the luckiest day of your life. You found me at Tuesday, May the 7th, 2013. We're going to close it out by going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come, talking to Willie, who's got a question. No, I'm sorry. We're going to go to Ken in Nevada. I lost my cue there. Ken in Nevada. Thanks so much for calling, Ken. You are live.
Thanks, Dr. Glidden, for taking my call. I have two issues. One pertains to a young boy, 14 years of age, went in and had some blood tests done, and he found out his protein count was way high, and they were concerned about a heart attack or dangers of having a heart attack. Brought him back in, did more analysis, and determined that he had cellulitis and that it had damaged his kidney, and now he's on a kidney transplant list, or getting prepped for that issue. The other issue pertains to a Afghanistan vet. Had some exposure to toxic gases, messed up his lungs. He took a bullet to the lungs as well, lost one lung, reoccurring pneumonia, hospitalized, a week at a time, depending upon what it is that's infecting him. His mucus is either blue or green.
I get it.
He identifies what it is.
Well, thank God for you, Ken. I mean, that's all that I can say, because you are the last best hope that both of these people have to make it. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to both of these people, but I'm going to try. Here we go. I've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. So get your pen out, and we're going to go for it. Both of these people, of course, need to eliminate the 10 bad foods, number one. The guy with the lung condition needs to support and promote the structure and function of his pulmonary system, and how we do that is 1 anti-aging healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, 1 bottle of EFA at the 180 count per month, 1 bottle of EFA at the 180 count per month, and 2 bottles of Killer Biotic, 2 bottles of Killer Biotic per month. Have him do that program plus the diet for 90 days and look to see what happens to the recurring infections, and also to the overall health of his lung function. There should be a noticeable, measurable improvement by the 90th day. The kid with the kidney problem, what we need to do there, again, is get down on our knees and thank God for Wallach, because after 26,000 autopsies, Dr. Wallach started to get a clue. And most of the time, when there's a kidney pathology, the kidney itself is fine. The blood flow going into the kidney is what's been messed up. Now, cellulitis is one thing, and often the MDs just get it wrong, and they just want to cut and burn everything. They have no idea of how the ability of the body to fix itself. So I would tell this person to avoid surgery for 6 months. 6 months, do the diet. The recommendation to support and promote the structure and function of his urogenital system would be more or less the same as the Iraq guy. I would go with the anti-aging healthy start pack, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight per month. The selenium, 1 bottle per 50 pounds of body weight per month. And the secret sauce here would be the Ultimate Daily Capsules. The Ultimate Daily Capsules. And 1 bottle of Ultimate Dailies a month. And something else called Super KB. Super K for kidney, B for bladder. Super KB. Give him 1 bottle of Super KB a month. And both of these people should be educated as to ORAC antioxidant points. And the goal here being a minimum for each of these guys of 50,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day with supplementation and with food. Now, in 1 bottle of the Cell Shield RTQ, that's a part of the Anti-Aging Healthy Start Pack, 1 capsule of that Cell Shield RTQ gives 8,000 ORAC. That's pretty good. 2 scoops of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine give about 6,000 ORAC, so that's good. So check out to see how much ORAC they're getting from the supplement program, and then have them add to it things like green tea and curry powder and red wine and stuff that's high in ORAC to get them to the 50,000 ORAC point mark a day. And of course, the diet is of maximum importance. Thanks for hanging on as long as you did, Ken. I appreciate your trust. Now go out there and make a difference in your world, because you are the last best hope your family, friends, and church members have to live long, healthy lives. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. See you all tomorrow.